What I say to people when they say to me, why should I come to the Congress, is if you want to do business in pretty much any country in the world, I can find you either somebody from that country who's here or somebody who's done business there and really knows how to do it.
The exhibition market's changed. I'm an old hat in it now, but if you look at the market, it's no longer about pile it high, sell it cheap. It's now about a much more targeted visitor campaigns, and that means we have to go out and look for our buyers more intensively and know more about both the visitor and the exhibitor and how they can meet.
It's amazing how the special interest group family businesses is talking about the same subjects, which reflects to all of the companies. And one of them is, of course, how do we cope with internationalization, with globalization?
When we decided to go to Singapore, it was the direct result of me attending UFI, because I went back to my partner in the United States, who actually lived in Singapore for 4 years, and I said it's an area that I think we can develop and bring our brand to, as well as Europe, as well as the Middle East.
You're seeing a very high double-digit growth in markets like China. But having said that, you know, you look at places like Brazil. This is a fantastic market also.
I think that's the obvious place to look, China and India, but I think there are other emerging markets that are just as key. Africa, which is 1 billion consumers, and South America. So I think at the moment the safe bet is to go to China and India. But in terms of return on investment, I would look at countries that have what you call a comparative advantage, where there literally are resources on the ground, So Zambia, Angola, Mozambique, these are countries that are going to be needing the kind of services that our exhibition industry can offer.
Our business in Europe is stagnant or reducing, and we're getting our growth from the new economies, Brazil obviously, China, here in the Middle East, Russia, and more places like Turkey, Mexico, Indonesia, and some places like North America.
10 years ago, the members of CISO, probably 25% were doing business globally. Now it's over 50% who are doing business globally. So globalization is a huge part of what we look for in the exhibition industry. Obviously, the Europeans, especially the Germans, much more ahead of the United States organize it, because don't forget, still 50% of the world's organized shows are in the United States. That says that the United States organizer has to look beyond its borders, and that's why we see many more people looking outside of the United States to extend their brands.
We're going to be in Korea next year. It'll be the first UFI Congress in Korea. Korea is a big market for UFI. We have 18 members in Korea. All of the key players in the Korean market are there. It's nicely situated between China and Japan. As you know, we have an Asian president, a president from China, just coming in to take over the presidency of UFI now.
I will use my advantages of the region to encourage more people from Asia countries like China, like Indonesia, Japan, to participate in the activities which we organized. At the same time, I also would like to do something for our organization. That means I will encourage the people from Latin America to be more involved in our association's activity.
We are planning to launch next year an UFI Latin American chapter. We're working very closely with AFIDA, the regional federation in Latin America, and that's a 2-year program really to build up UFI's presence, build up the links between our members, the AFIDA members, the industry in Latin America, which will culminate in November 2014 with our first Congress in Brazil in Sao Paulo.